Start back with the APIs.
Sure. So the way the APIs are set up, they're set up as modules. So you basically pick and choose which modules that you want to integrate. It's not like, oh, if you do inventory, you have to do this, or if you do product data, you have to do this. Inventory and order status do have a direct effect on the visibility of your products. We always recommend at least starting with those two because they are the easiest to integrate. There's no charge for a supplier to integrate. So anything that has a dollar amount, those are directed towards distributors. They are not supplier ones. But we have your inventory. You can also download your product data that you currently have in Sage. And a lot of developers start with that because when it downloads it in the code. So they can see how the fields are filled in and what field it is. So they can see all that data in the code. With the product data update, you have the ability to either do a full update. So if you're adding new products, it will add all of that for you. You can set it up for update type just to update your pricing. We also have one that we call a pick and choose update. So if you have certain fields that you want to update, you can do that. So you don't have to do a full update every single time that you push the data to Sage. The order status, this is strictly the status and the shipping information. It does not contain any proprietary information, so it doesn't show the distributors, what was ordered, how much the order was, or anything like that. It's strictly the status. We also have the ability for you to download the order forms that come through Sage. So currently you guys receive those as a PDF attachment to an email, but you can also download the information, and I have a few suppliers that have set it up to where it automatically populates your back end, so you're not manually entering that information. So what I want to do next is just kind of show you what this information looks like to the distributors. So I'm going to click into Sage Online, which is one of the tools that they use. I chose this particular product because it comes in several colors. So you'll be able to see how the inventory can be set up. So right here, this is their in stock. That's the total of all the colors. If I click on this little icon right here, it breaks it out by color. So the distributors can see right away if a supplier has enough inventory for their order, and it shows the last time this was updated. Now with updating inventory, I know this particular supplier updates in real time. We always recommend at least a minimum of once a day updating. And some suppliers choose first thing in the morning and some choose in the afternoon, whichever fits what you guys want to do. If you have products that are what we call made on demand and that you don't really have any inventory, you just make it as the order comes. We do have what we call a non-stockable field that you can mark for your inventory. That way the distributors know you always have enough that you can make for that product. Because I know some suppliers have what they call custom products, and those are made on demand. So that's kind of how the inventory is. The inventory can be broke out by color like you see here. If you have wearables, it can be broke out by color and by inventory, or by color and by size. It can also be broke out by warehouses if you have multiple warehouses. So there's a lot of flexibility when it comes to that. Now, with regards to the order status, how the distributors access that information is right here under my supplier info form. And the information that's put in this area is unique to that distributor's login. So, distributor from ABC company cannot see what distributor DEF company has listed in here. So they would locate your company in the Sage tool, and they would come in and put their account number that they have with you guys. That's how they're going to access their information. So when I click on order status, this is how they see the information. Let me just click into one of these. So as you can see, it's status information only. So it's kind of where that order is in the process of getting it shipped out. You also have the ability to add notes to it. So if there's more details that you want to provide to the distributor at a certain stage, you can also do that. And then you add in the tracking information. The distributors can also set up alerts. So it's kind of like an Amazon experience. Whenever the status changes, they'll get an alert to let them know the status changed. And if you guys are logged into Sage Chat, they can also chat you from this page too. So if they have a question, hey, it's been in production for a really long time, what's going on, what happened, they're able to chat with you guys directly. Hopefully that makes sense. Now within the modules, like all the information is here. First, what would happen is your developer would have to come here underneath configuration, and they would have to fill in this top part in order to create the credentials. So they would get the authentication key. Once they do that, they would want to enable the module that they're going to be working on, but they don't have to enable it in order to read the documentation. So they can just click into the documentation here, and it's going to have all the information. So it shows for the inventory, it shows what the requested fields are. It shows the response field layout. It has the notes, and this is where they can break it out by color and by size and by inventory and things like that. And then we also provide a sample of the code and a sample of the response that they might see. And in addition, we've got some samples of error codes that might happen. Most of the modules are broke out like this. Of course, the most, I don't want to say difficult, but the one that takes the most time is obviously going to be the product data. And that's just mainly because there's so much information on each product, and you may call something differently on your back end than what we call it in Sage. But all the modules are broke out that way. So you can see here, there's a lot of fields as I scroll down. For product data, we have a lot of information here. We have the response fields. We have the notes, any additional notes. And then we've got a sample of the code right here and responses. I work directly with your developer. Once you get to the point and you're ready to do product data, we do set up a test account. That way you can do your testing and it's not going to affect your live account, because we don't want your live account to be affected that would cause your visibility to drop on your products. So we set the test account up until you're ready to actually push the information live. Now let's go in and look at your product data here. Okay. So you currently have 507 products. Now this is how the distributor sees your product data. So if I click into this adapter right here, it shows the images that you guys have uploaded. It's important that this second image right here is the same as this image with no logo on it. So you want a blank image here. And the reason you want that is so the distributors can create virtual samples, because we do have a built-in virtual sample tool, so they can put their customer's logo on it and then send that over to their customer. You have the ability to upload up to 99 images per product. So if it does come in a lot of different colors, you want to make sure you have that blank image for every color it's available in. So you see here, it shows all of your information, including like your description. It has your pricing. And based on your price codes, it breaks it out for the distributor. So it shows the net cost and what their profit is. And then it has all of the other details that have been added in here. So you've got, that it's screen printed, what the price includes, additional run charges. We also have a built-in shipping estimator that is based on FedEx and UPS published rates. So if the distributor is proposing the product, they can also kind of add in an estimate of what the shipping charges might be. Tracy, you do a good job on filling all that information in.
Oh, thank you.
I think it's been a while since I've looked at y'all's products. So all of this information that's on the product data can be pushed into the system with the API. What I usually tell people is if you're doing product data, if the product is already existing in Sage, you don't need to do a full product push. You just want to push what's changed on the product. So like if your pricing changes every so often, you just want to push your pricing changes. Do you guys have any questions?
So far, everything we have in there was manually entered by Tracy or someone else at our company, correct? We've never done a data feed.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Now she could have used the spreadsheet because we do have a spreadsheet option that you can download. But the spreadsheet is kind of limited. So if your product has any options or additional charges, you can't do that with a spreadsheet. And with the spreadsheet, you can only upload 2 images per product. Tracy, do you have any products that have additional options? Okay, so this right here, this information right here is actually not in the right place.
I know.
Yeah, and that's not in the right place either.
Okay.
So this information right here, that's not really a compliant should be listed in the options section and not in the compliance section.
Okay.
Now, is going forward, is it going to be necessary that we do the data feeds and all this stuff, or does it hurt us? Or does it help us? Like if we're super diligent and we have everything updated and maintained all the time manually, are we okay?
Yes, you're okay. Like I said, the only 2 integrations that can help your visibility of your products is the inventory and order status. Product data is more for convenience for you, for the supplier, to make sure that you have everything updated. But like I said, there's just a few things. And Tracy, if you want, we can get together later in the week and I can walk you through how to add these correctly.
That would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem.
Is there I don't even know if this is even possible. I mean, we just found one product by clicking on it that is not correct. Is there any way to identify all the products that that are not correct, or do we
Not
just have to
easily.
not easily?
Yeah, I mean, I can go through and select a few and look at them, and like this one, I think once Tracy knows how to list this information and the options, then she'll pretty much know if she's got this information listed on other product data.
Yeah, so I'll have to change the drinkware. All of the drinkware items are going to have that in the same spot, and I'm thinking there's been several people over the years that have entered information in Sage, so it might be a little inconsistent.
Yeah. Some of the information, I mean, if I download the spreadsheet, some of this I'll be able to see. Like, I think this will show up on the spreadsheet, so I'll be able to tell that that's incorrect. Let me just kind of go into another product or two. See, this is where I don't understand because it says, okay, let's see here. It says that it includes full color one side, but then it says full color is 63 cents extra. So that's kind of contradicting itself.
Yeah, I shouldn't have that extra. Unless that's from the second time, what is it?
That's what I'm thinking.
What item is it?
That is the sublimated.
Oh, that's probably to do the other side.
Okay, so then you would just want to say, you know, full color second side. Just be a little more detailed on it.
Okay.
Because if I was to look at this, I wouldn't necessarily assume that. And since it does have an area for the measurements, you don't necessarily have to put that in the description. It'll just show up, it shows up twice.
Okay.
I mean, just that'll just save you a little bit of space.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and Tracy, what I do is I'll email you directly and we can set up a time and we can just kind of go through some of your products.
Okay.
Just to look at them and see how, you know, how we can make them a little bit better so that they get a little bit more visibility for you guys.
Perfect.
Yep. I do that all day long, so we're good.
Is
Okay.
there, when people do searches, obviously there are keywords. Are the, is there, do the keywords just get pulled out of all of this data, or is there a
Yes.
section where we just create keywords?
Well, there is a section for keywords, but when a distributor does do a search by keywords, it actually looks in every single field for a match. So if I went in and typed in measuring device as a keyword and you don't have that listed as your keywords, it would still pull this product up.
Okay,
Because all the fields are weighted the same. So it doesn't care if it finds the match in the description or in the keywords or the product name.
that's good to know. It's
Yeah.
just, I don't know if there are any other strategies other than obviously we probably need to go through every one of our products to make sure that everything is correct. At the same time, if there's any strategies that we could employ that would help us in the search results.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something we can take product at a time. I mean, like just on general glance, it looks like Tracy's made sure that she's got every single field filled in, which is important because a lot of people will miss certain fields just because they don't want to fill it in or whatever it might be. And that's important. You've got a lot of the samples of the your products here in the different colors, which is great. Let me see if they're
But the second picture needs to be the same as the first picture, but without a logo.
correct.
I noticed that wasn't the case for the last couple products we looked at.
Right. And this is why, because what I did is I clicked on the virtual design studio so they can take this product, they can put their customer's logo on it, and then they can send that to their customer in like a presentation or a proposal or something like that. So that their customer can see what their logo is going to look like on that color, if they can see what it's going to look like on that particular item. The other thing that distributors can do with your products is they can create presentations. So if I wanted to add this product to a presentation, there's a button down here at the bottom that says presentation. When I click on that, they can actually have different templates set up. So if they have different sectors, like if they work with schools or different types of organizations, they can have different presentation templates set up. It's going to pull all of that information over for me. I can add additional images if I want to. From that list, I can also put in a virtual sample of the product if I want to. And then it's an electronic presentation. So the distributor will send his customer the link. They'll open it up and they're able to give their feedback right here directly in real time to the distributor. And the distributor can respond back. And there's lots of different settings here. They can even show it with a total price. They can show it including tax. They can show all kinds of stuff with the pricing depending on how their customer wants to see that. And there's actually no limit. They can list as many products on the presentation if they want to send to their customer. So that's why it's important to have all that information in there and all the images done, so that that information pulls up correctly. And then you were asking about the searches. We do have 1.2 million products in our database. We have a couple of different options for them to search. Here's what I call the full search. So it's going to have pretty much every single field on here. They can also change to smaller, quicker version of a search if they want to. And then they can do like a Google type search for the products in the system, depending on what works best for them. And they can filter it by a lot of different ways. Like I said, if they put in keywords, that's going to search every field. They can also select a specific color. They can do a price range if they know what their customer's budget is. If they're looking for something and a dimension size is important, they can search by that as well. Now, do you guys also have a Canadian listing, or was that older?
We do.
Okay. So when it comes to the Canadian listing, we have a couple of features that help the Canadian distributors. We have a Canadian friendly search. And what happens is, even if if a distributor is in Canada and you guys have two listings, they're always going to see your Canadian listing, but they can filter it down even farther. So if they wanted a distributor or a supplier that was located in Canada, that had an FOB point in Canada, or even had Canadian dollars listed, that's what that Canadian friendly search is for. So if you meet any one of those three criteria, it will pull your products up. There was another one that we had on here too. Oh, also they can look for USMCA proficient if that's important to them as well. And then also with the Canadian, they can change their currency and say, we want to just find products that are listed in Canadian currency. They can put in certain locations here if they want to as well. So we try to also help those Canadian distributors locate products, because one thing I've learned, I've been with Sage for 20 years, and one thing I've learned about the Canadian distributors is they really want to do business with suppliers that are in Canada. They're very strict about that. But kind of going back to your question, like I said, the integration is set up in modules. You can pick and choose which ones you want to do. You don't have to do them all. And certainly if you're comfortable with how your product data is being updated, you don't even have to do the product data one. It's just giving you options. Do you guys have any other questions?
Not that I can think of. I just see a mountain of work. And Tracy's probably like, oh my
Tracy-
I
goodness.
agree.
Tracy sees two mountains.
Yes, maybe three.
I'm sorry, that always happens when I get on a call with somebody. I give them more stuff to do. But definitely, I mean, the one thing I love about my job is I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not trying to get any money from you. My job is to help you make sure that your product data is listed the best way possible to get the most visibility possible.
Right.
So my job's a little easier. I don't have any pressure. Now, do you guys list specials too, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, so when you list a special, it puts this little tag next to it. I don't know if you can see it because it's kind of small, but it looks like a little price tag. And part of the product search, the distributors can also filter it by specials if they want to. So that also helps the visibility of your products.
Okay.
So if they're looking, there's some categories that's the first search that the distributor will do, mainly because there's so many products in that category. And if their customer has like a really tight budget, they're probably going to search for specials first, which makes it a lot easier.
Are there any qualifications for making something a special, or is it, I mean, it almost sounds like why not put everything on a special?
Well, I mean, I've had suppliers try to do that. They'll say, "Oh, this is a new product, so I'm marking it as special." No. You know, you're either marking the price down. Now, there is kind of a technicality that you can get around on that. If you offer free setup charges for all of your products, technically you can set that as a special for all your products.
Okay,
But I mean, you want to be realistic with it too, because you don't want to put something out there and it's not really a special, because then the distributors start complaining. And we get a lot of complaints.
gotcha.
Yeah,
But we
that's
do
all the
actually,
distributors complain. I
it
don't
is
fuck with it.
exciting that something like a free setup is a special, because we actually do that. And
Yep, it is a special because sometimes that can be a pretty significant amount of money depending on what the product is. And if they're looking at your product against maybe something that's similar and your product doesn't have setup charges, but the other one does, you know, that could be a significant savings for their customer. Because where is it here? Specials. Sorry, my computer's running really slow today. It doesn't like the fact that it's Monday, I think.
Monday.
Okay. So they can actually search by a specific type of special too. So, and one of ours is setup charges. So we do recognize that that can be a pretty significant savings. But if they're looking for self promos, or if they're looking for, you know, free goods, or if they're looking for closeout items, because a lot of times closeout items are really marked down, they can actually do specific type searches for different types of specials here. And there's no limit to the number of specials that you guys list in Sage, or the types of specials. So you could have 2 specials technically on one product. So let's say you have one product that you've got the free setup charge special on it, and then you decide to mark the pricing down. So technically you would have 2 specials on one product.
I wonder if we shouldn't do our top 10 products, that we shouldn't have self promo specials for all.
Mhm.
Yep. So there's some strategy to that. And then once you guys, let me log into your Sage Supplier Center account here real quick. You can also start watching your statistics. Oh, and just kind of a heads up preview. We are coming out with a web version of the Sage Supplier Center that will be released this quarter. And I haven't seen it yet, but from what I understand, it's going to have more statistics available to you guys on here. But on the statistics, you can kind of start watching your top 10 products to see if, when you list certain specials, if that changes. I mean, you have this one product right here that gets a lot of views. It had 96 views last month. You guys get some pretty good views on your products. What are your ratings? Oh, okay, you guys have great ratings too. And you're responding perfect. See, right now you guys are doing most everything correct. Usually I come in here and there's like no ratings, or if there are ratings, they're not responding, kind of situation.
so I see, for example, on the ratings here, I see that we're A plus, and then the reports are 19. Is that, so that 19 is the number of ratings we've been given? Is
Correct.
that correct? Is 19 a good number, or is it a bad number?
It kind of varies. I mean,
Should we
it's
see a
not
number
a,
of like 500 there, or?
well, I mean, companies like Hit and Koozie Group don't even have that many ratings. I mean, you could probably get yours up to 100, I would think would be a good. Tracy, are you aware of the Rate Us Now logo?
Yes.
Okay. You can use the Rate Us Now logo because ratings do only stay active for 2 years. After 2 years, they do drop off.
Okay.
But if you
And
proactively go out and get ratings, you'll be able to do that. I mean, we've had a couple of suppliers that have really push for ratings, and their numbers, like one supplier I was talking to last week, they got 9 new ratings in one day.
So like does getting more ratings, like let's say we got from 19 to 100, is there going to be a benefit?
Yes. Because when it looks at your ratings, as far as the best match, it doesn't look just at your A+, it looks at how many reports you have. So the more reports that you have, the better that's going to help your visibility.
Okay, well, it sounds like we need to make an effort on that.
Yep.
Yeah. And
And that's
sometimes
not on
it's
you, Tracy.
Got it.
That's on some
sorry.
that's other people's jobs to get ratings.
I'm sorry, more work.
As long as it's not more work for Tracy, I think we can find more work for other people here. This is one of them.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, that's a good way. And if you're very proactive about it, you'll be able to get ratings. And if you use that Rate Us Now logo, that helps because all they have to do is click on that logo and log in, and they get your rating page directly. So they're not having to filter through other suppliers. They go directly to your rating page.
And we definitely don't want to generate a positive review for somebody else.
I totally agree with that.
For sure.
Let's see. Just kind of go through here. You definitely want to make sure you mark which shipping carriers that you guys use. I think everything else is, you've got your logo, you've got all that. I'm just looking to see that you've got everything filled in here. Okay, that's perfect. Catalog. And like I said, specials, you can list as many as you want. There's not any restriction. You've got a few sales tools listed here. Also with the sales tools, there's no restrictions either. I saw that you guys are doing quite a bit of advertising. You can actually link up to 3 items from the sales tools to your ads. So it doesn't have to just necessarily be links. It can be videos. It can be, if let's say you're promoting hand sanitizers on one of your ads and you're running a special, list your special here and then set up a special here so that you can link it to the ad. And that's statistics. Yeah. So now that you have a ton of work to do, sorry, Tracy.
It's okay. It's okay.
As my grandson says, job security.
Exactly what I was thinking.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
He's in the 8th grade, and I'm like, what do you know about job security?
Everything.
Yeah.
Just asking.
Yeah, he thinks he does anyway.
Right.
Well, what's even funnier is if he thinks his mom's not telling him the right answer, he calls me.
Yeah.
And I learned a long time ago to say, what did your mom say?
Right.
So is there anything else that you guys have questions on?
I think I'm good. Tracy's probably spinning a little bit.
I am, I think I'm good. I've got to go back through all of these and double check my photos and make sure everything's in the right place. It's just gonna take a minute.
It smells like smoldering wiring in here.
Yeah. Figure out where to start.
She's gonna go back to her desk and
Start crying.
Start selling Girl Scout cookies.
Start crying or start
Forget
eating those cookies. Yep.
Get this.
I have an office full of Girl Scout cookies, so.
I bought mine.
Is that tagalongs?
Yes.
You guys call those tagalongs, or are they something
No, they're still peanut. They used to be tagalongs, but
peanut butter?
I don't know how long ago
on,
I don't know how long ago they changed the name, and it really upset me.
I think it depends on like where you, like different regions in the US call them different things. There's like 2 names for each one. It's peanut butter patties and tagalongs. And like all of them have 2 different names. So
Yeah, they
sometimes
they were
people-
they were tagalongs when I was a Girl Scout, and then when they
Yeah.
changed the name, I was like, no, that's not gonna work for me.
Mhm. Yep.
And it was a great weekend for all the Girl Scouts to be out selling cookies too here.
We were selling yesterday and it was windy and freezing and it was sprinkling a little bit. It was crazy, but we were very, very busy. So yeah, like the next month, that's my life. I'm selling Girl Scout cookies on the weekends. So yeah.
I know.
I actually enjoy it. Yeah, so
My niece, it's so funny. She starts January 1st. She starts posting on Facebook.
that's what we
Please,
do too.
please let me know who's selling Girl Scout cookies, because she's going to go out and buy a ton.
Alex calls me the company drug dealer because I come in and entice everyone with my cookies.
There's boxes of them in the break room open with,
Yeah.
there's crack cocaine all over the table in there.
Yeah, pretty popular around here.
Gotcha. Well, what I'll do